What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Devy YouTube channel. Today is a fun one for me as a Michigan fan. We're going to be diving into the 24 class. I know we're a little bit ahead. So the recruits are starting to commit around the country, and we got Jadyn Davis committing to Michigan, 5-star quarterback out of North Carolina. And we're going to be talking about, hey, what does his outlook look like? So if you're a Michigan fan and you haven't seen him kind of throw, I got some highlights for you. We're going to watch his game tape a little bit. We're going to go over strengths, weaknesses, and then the overall outlook here. Michigan's been kind of cleaning up with the recruiting trail right now. They're number 3 ranked recruiting class right now. Obviously, it's super early for next year, but we're going to go through their class as well, kind of where he fits and where Jadyn fits there. So again, we're getting into this. We love college football here on the channel, so we're going to be diving into these quarterbacks, and this could be your first look at Jadyn Davis and what he has to offer. So hit that like and subscribe button while the intro is going, and then we're going to dive into his profile and what he looks like. All right, let's get into him. Let's get into this tape. Let's talk about him and go through it. So when you're looking at 6'2", 202, so we're going to talk about the size. High school stats last year. So when we're looking at 2022, he looked really good. 221 for 305, 72% completion percentage, 3,400 yards, right? 43-6 touchdown interception ratio. And then, hey, they won when they're looking at it, they won a state title. So they won a 55-13 state title. In that game, he had 350 yards and 6 touchdowns. So he definitely elevated his team there in that state title there versus he played Charlotte Christian. He actually won the Gatorade Player of the Year, Max Preps North Carolina Player of the Year. So when you look at him, he's improved, right? So from his freshman year, he started a little bit of games there. He broke his collarbone all the way up to his sophomore year. He did okay his sophomore season, 1,700 yards. And then he really elevated his game last year. And so you see that you see him really, really compete and do a better job this last year. Again, he is a very, very fun prospect. And I don't think the thing about him when I was going through his tape and watching him, he hasn't hit his ceiling yet. And that's the exciting thing that, hey, he's committed to Michigan now. And what does that look like? Now, as far as what he does well, I think his mechanics are really good. So when you're watching him play, and I think he's been improving that. So when you watch his tape from sophomore to his junior year, you really see an improvement there. I think he sets down in the pocket very well. When he gets his mechanics going, he does not have a bad arm strength, right? We're going to talk about kind of that arm strength here a little bit, but when he gets his feet set and he's able to kind of do that, you're going to see it on the tape. It's a legitimate D1 athlete, top 5 quarterback of the class area. So when he gets his mechanics down, he's really good. Good intangibles. Like they talk about his leadership. They talk about, hey, he improved every season. So you've seen that. You see it on the tape as well. Like he just got, you could tell he's a leader. His teammates love him when he's out there. Like you like seeing that stuff. I know it's coach talk, but I do like seeing that. And again, I think that he has a good release when he gets his feet set and gets it out. Like he gets the ball out quick. He gets it to where it needs to go. I think velocity will come. That's going to come with arm strength a little bit. But the things that you like to see is mechanics, intangibles, and release. He does have that. And I think he has good mechanics on the run. He does pretty well on the run, especially for when he gets out of off platform, out of pocket. Those are things that he does really well. Now, as far as, obviously things maybe kind of got to work. Size, again, he's going to put on some weight. Is he 6 foot? I think hopefully they have it listed right. Maybe a smaller kid, right? So when you're looking at that, remember, these aren't weaknesses. These are more just areas that he needs to work on. Size, he'll just have to get some strength up there. Arm strength, I think one thing that you watch the tape, and I'm going to put it on here in a second. He can hit deep balls. It's just the velocity which he does that. And I think that he does well when he gets his feet set and it's down. When he kind of rushes these things and gets it down to it, I think he could struggle there. There are plenty of times on tape where the guy's got to wait for it, but that doesn't mean he's not going to get better at it, right? And in decision making, and it's not that he made a ton of mistakes with interceptions, because he did at 43-6, touchdown interception ratio. I do think he gets away with some based on, some of the throws that he made that should have been picked off. That stuff's not going to work at the next level. And I think that's one area that I saw, hey, he's got to make the right read. And he does that pretty well. Overall, he does that pretty well. But again, at that next level of competition, is he going to be able to do that, right? Now, let's dive into the tape. We're just going to watch him a little bit. This is his junior highlights. And this is where, hey, he's got the arm strength to do it, right? He can get it to the outside. I think it's the consistent arm strength. And again, getting his feet set out, in the pocket, going up. So you'll see here in the pocket. And this is one of those decisions I'm talking about. Triple covered, he gets a touchdown. Now on the stat sheet, that's a hell of a throw, touchdown. in college football, that's probably interception. Now, I will say here too, like this is where that intangibles that does show his arm strength, getting dragged down, still able to make it to the sideline. Like those are the things that you like. And I think that's intermediate, right? So we're talking about deep balls here. That's where I think can wane a little bit, but he does do that well out of pocket. Kind of has that functional athleticism, able to make the throws on the run. Like, I think he's going to really excel in an offense that allows him to do that. And I think maybe he saw with JJ McCarthy what Harbaugh allowed him to do. Maybe that excited him, right? Maybe that's like something like, because we've seen that consistently skilled players, they don't necessarily go to Michigan all the time. But I think with JJ's progression as quarterback, that's probably set up Jadyn as like, hey, I can probably go do that too. They're going to give me a little bit more freedom there. And you'll see it here. Good read, little behind him. He had to come back just a little bit here on this throw. And so that's where, like, when I'm watching the tape, it excites me, but he's got some stuff to work on. But again, he's only a junior. He's going to be a senior this year. He's definitely going to improve, right? And that's what you're projecting here with these kids this young. You're projecting that he's going to improve, and he's done it at every level. He's done it at every season that he's played football. That's a great throw in there, and we're gonna be a couple throws where you could tell it's like, oh, that's Division I talent, right? Reads it well, able to get to the outside here. And there's nothing really red flaggy about his tape. Like when you're watching him play, like I've watched it through it, there's nothing really red flag. He reads the ball. He's pretty good anticipation. I didn't include that on the strengths, but you could. Like he anticipates his guys open. He knows where they're supposed to go. And that's a good thing. And then another area that I thought he did pretty well in, Jadyn gets popped a bunch of times. He stands in that pocket and just delivers. Like he gets popped and he's able to kind of make a good throw. This is one of his best throws probably that I've seen. And you'll see it here. Steps up in the pocket, feels the pressure. The pressure's in his face. Gets hit. He gets crushed there. Able to make it on the money throw in the back of the end zone. That is like when I saw that, and as a Michigan guy, as I've been, obviously I know a little bit about it, that stuff excites you. Like that's the throw. You're like, oh damn, this guy can go do that at the horseshoe, right? Those are the type of areas that you're looking for. Like, hey, you can go win us a game on the road. Those type of things. And again, this is where he makes throws that you're like, hey, I wish you're probably going to have to not make those throws at college, but he does do that well. So those are like when you're looking at him from just a standpoint of like, what is this kid as a quarterback? I think he's not even hit his ceiling yet, and he definitely has flashes of like elite talent. Right now, when we're talking about outlook and what does it look like, so just to give you an idea of where Michigan football stands right now, Davis is the 10th player to commit in Jim Harbaugh's program during this recruiting cycle. He's the only 5-star prospect and only quarterback of this class, right? So he's right there. So when you're thinking of it, JJ McCarthy's been there. JJ's probably, when you're looking at in terms of where he's at, a lot of people haven't projected his quarterback 3 or 4 of this class. He might come back after this next year. So maybe he sits for a year. Maybe Jadyn sits for a year behind JJ, which I don't necessarily think it would be a terrible thing for him. Or he's going to step in and JJ leaves and maybe they get a transfer quarterback. That's a little bit far out to project. But when you're looking at where they're at right now, they're the 3 overall ranked class right now. Composite rank is 3. They're bringing in Jordan Marshall, who I think is a really good running back, tied in Hogan Hansen. And then you're just looking at like defensively, they always get great guys. Jacob Oden's one of my favorite players in this class. When you're looking at it, I think, overall, Ben Roback, offensive tackle, he's going to be a stud just because he's going there. That's just how this works. But they're starting to build around him. They have some other guys on the pipe that are not necessarily committed, but they have offered. And you like to see that. Like there's a lot of guys out there. Obviously, probably Taylor Tatum's not going to come there with where that's working. But, the nice thing is you need to get some wide receiver talent in there. So that's one area to look right now, where that wide receiver talent is there. There's some guys out there. Gatlin Bear is another one that maybe could go there. So look for how that's going to work out. Terrell, I understand. David Washington. There's some guys out there that could definitely join this Michigan offense. And now that Jadyn's coming, we know how recruiting works. Recruiting works. Oh, Jadyn's going there. Now I'm going to go there. So, and Michigan should be excited. Like when I'm looking at Michigan overall, this is really good for John Harbaugh and what they're trying to accomplish there. I think Jadyn fits. If you're a Michigan fan, you should be excited about what he's going to bring to this offense. And you should be excited about this recruiting class. Winning matters. Getting to the college football playoff like we have the last 2 seasons and getting there is going to definitely help. So, I love it. I wanted to kind of do this. Hit that like and subscribe button if you appreciate this content. It's great that we're getting a quarterback to his level, especially after we've missed on a few quarterbacks, not to mention, the guys that we probably should have brought in, but that didn't happen. So now that we got this class coming, it's a good class. It's one that we can build on a foundation. And it's exciting to have these guys come into our program and maybe missing out on, skipping a few other programs out there. programs that we won't name. So appreciate you guys. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll see you guys later.